So much on my mind, worries. Hunger and strife, family they cry, person just to try survive. Feels like everything is against me, but I know fit explain. But I go still remain on more higher. Though the nights are getting longer, every time I try to stand, another one will drag me down. But I know good change or wipe the smile from my face. I could still remain on more higher. On more higher. See my heart and all is breaking, life and all is taking. I still remain on more higher. I don't stay with pain. See, I know how she did. She don't give me trouble, she don't dare my place. You fit no relate. She don't show me shaking, she don't stain my name, she don't trick my eyes, but I still remain, I'm more higher. You do best and good, then take bad and pay. They don't stop the heart, where I take south and plates. They don't show me shaking, real thoughts are shade. They don't eat my small, spit on my face. But I know the change, I know my name. I still belong, and I still remain on my They won't take my life, they don't make the plans, they don't write them down. But I still remain on more higher.
Yes, indeed. For some of us, we are children of joy. Omoayo by Timida Kola right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. Exactly 24 minutes gone past the hour of 10. Happy new month to you and welcome to the month of July, which happens to be the second half of 2024. I believe we're super grateful to be alive. I am, and I'm excited about, what God is set to do for all of us in the second half of 2024. Well, welcome to Solutions Clinic, where we talk about everything and anything health. My name is Vic Riches. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Well, today we're going to be talking about drug and substance abuse. Last week, it was the World Drug Day, and to commemorate that, we're going to be raising more awareness on drug and substance abuse. Substance abuse is a harmful use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs. A major impact of illicit drug use is the negative health consequences experienced. Psychoactive means the substance can affect how the brain works, alter mood, awareness, thought, feelings, or behavior. According to statistics from the UN Office on Drugs and Crime in 2023, the current data indicates that globally, 296 million people use drugs in a single year, while more than 39 million of them suffer from drug use disorder. The past year prevalence of any drug use in Nigeria is estimated at 14.4%, or 14.3 million people aged between 15 to 64 years. The theme for the World Drug Day 2024 is "The evidence is clear. Invest in prevention." Joining me this morning for this conversation on drug and substance abuse virtually is Dr. Chukwuma Okoli. It's great to have you, Doc. Happy New Month to you.
Thank you. Happy New Month. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Hope you're feeling great today.
Very well, I am.
Awesome. So let's start off with this very first question. We understand that substance does a lot of harm to the body. However, I am meant to also understand that psychoactive drugs are prescribed medically. They are even recommended by doctors. Why is that?
Thank you very much. Now, let's talk about drugs that are most often abused. Okay.
Okay.
Now, it will surprise you that the first thing I'll mention is alcohol. Okay. But that is not being prescribed by the doctors. Now, we have amphetamine. These are medications that are meant to produce some form of muscle relaxation or analgesia. That is, to reduce pain, relax the muscles. And I can say that these are the major reasons why these drugs are prescribed. Okay, to help. Now, another one is some drugs are meant to help achieve good sleep, such as the benzodiazepine. The commonest one is the Valium people talk about. So you see, these medications are meant to help the system to relax and achieve sleep normally. So yes, some of them are being prescribed because they have an effect, a good effect on the human body. But now, people always want to have a feeling of these effects for a longer period. And the fact that they want to have a feeling of this for a longer period makes them always go back to those medications to achieve such feelings. Some of those feelings are side effects. Some of those feelings are just extra effects. For instance, I used to say, for example, that paracetamol is basically used to help relieve headaches. However, it is also proven that paracetamol can reduce temperature. So if one drug can achieve this too, then that will tell you that most of those medications being abused were prescribed having a symptom in mind for it to relieve. However, it now will do some other things in the body. That is why you see that scenario that you just painted happening. Thank you.
Fair enough. But are there substances that are also recommended? Because I've heard of, the likes of cannabis being recommended medically. Are there substances like that that are medically recommended for patients as well?
It exists, but however, they are quite rare for such medications to be
prescribed.
For instance, there's one. Okay, we know about cocaine. Now, yes, cocaine is a pediatric substance. That is, at times it is used to achieve pupillary dilatation for opticians, ophthalmologists, for people that want to operate. So they need some of those medications to achieve a pupillary dilatation. So they put this for hopeful well enough for them to be able to do their ophthalmic surgery. So yes, some of those medications, although in recent times now, we have newer medications that may not be in the class of these abuse substances that are now being utilized, analogs or isomers of them, that is, drugs that act alike or look alike, and then they will produce a better result with lesser side effects. That's the way the world is evolving as it is as of now.
Fair enough. The sad reality that we have now is the numbers of drug and substance abusers keep skyrocketing. And it brings back the question on why. Why is the reason, what is the reason rather, that we have people, young and old, indulging in substance abuse? And where does it start from?
Thank you very much. I still remember long ago when I came across the first time I came across the term peer pressure. I asked myself, what does this mean? And then my teacher explained to me. Now this is it. It is always from experiences that people have heard sitting with their peers. For instance, I get to hear things like, hey bro, have you been to this restaurant? Can I take you there? If I take you there, in fact, their food is very nice. And then you take me there and we eat, and I'm like, wow, This is where I'll be here having my lunch. And then the next I call another friend and say, hey, bro, this week took me to one restaurant. Man, the place is so nice. Let me take you there. You see? And the message keeps spreading. It is the same routine. It's the same routine. So this is the reason why you see those that spread. It continues because people use this medication. It is called a feel-good effect. It makes them feel good. And when something makes you feel good, you want your friends to feel the same. And that is it. Now, the funniest thing is that some of these drugs and substances that have been abused, most of the people that will propagate this may not even get involved so much with it. However, whoever they introduce it to may now take it to another level, as much as it may now cause a harm for the people. So that's where the situation arises. And that's why we preach against drug and substance abuse, because you don't know the extent it may go in an individual. Let me share this with you. There is this drink called Colorado. You know about it.
Absolutely.
Now, I invited my carpenter to work in one of the houses that I lived in 2020. And then I realized that the first time the job wasn't properly done. As a matter of fact, I asked myself, I thought this man is so gifted in his work. And then he confessed to me that it wasn't him that climbed the roof, that he gave excuses, his back, and it was his apprentice, who is good, that climbed the roof. Now the apprentice didn't do the job well, so he had to call another apprentice because he had fallen recently, had a pelvic fracture, and has been warned not to climb roofs. Now, this is where I'm going. The boy, while he was doing that job, was under the influence of the Colorado. So it had interfered with his reasoning. It has interfered with his ability. It has interfered with his cognitive senses. So he couldn't oppose the roofs well. A roof that was newly constructed and it's leaking water like a basket. You know, exactly. Unfortunately, this same boy could not recover from the effect of the Colorado. We lost him about 30 days after.
My goodness.
Yes. So you look at it, he was introduced to Colorado by a feel-good effect friend who wanted him to feel the same feeling that he felt. Now, this feeling ended up taking his life away. That is it. And that's why we say, you don't know who will react in the extreme.
Right.
Substance abuse must be discouraged, must be discontinued to its highest level, because it has been taking away our youth silently. But we must raise awareness against it. It is unfortunate that even the music field, our musicians, I was listening to a particular song and I heard Ide on Kolos. I was pissed off. And I cut off that music and I promised myself I would not listen to that crap again. So this is a shout out and a call out to even the media houses. Let us censor the music that will play. Let's encourage the use of substances that are being abused. It doesn't have to happen to a family member before we take action. Let's take action now before it hits a family member. Thank you.
Very succinctly said. And the story you shared just sort of contradicts to what the society or drug abusers are meant to understand, especially with the impact of drugs. Now, you said for the guy, the intake of that substance distorted him. However, you hear people make excuses for why they take drugs as to boost their creativity, to increase their strength, etc., etc. So you're saying all of these assertions that we've heard are not true?
No, that's not it. It's not that they're not true. You remember I said a while ago that most of the people who propagate the use of these things, they know how to do it. They know the dosages they administer. They know what it produces for them. But this is it. We don't know who will abuse it, who will overuse it, who will push it or take it to the next level. That's exactly the statement I made previously.
Okay.
I know a musician whom I even like to listen to his music. He said that without using those medications, he will not be able to reason properly. But when he takes some of those things, he can write lyrics. And that was his defense for indulging in it. And I said, hey, you know what? If you wake up in the morning, in the cool time of the day, without any stress, you would still write the best of lyrics. These are just excuses that we give. So I will tell you, without those drugs, you will not write lyrics. You can write. How about people that wrote hit songs? Okay, how about Adele? Adele wrote a hit song, Hello, from the other side. It's not 2020 during this COVID. And that song for 1 whole year, the song kept sweeping and making waves. And at Grammy, the song worked Grammy in all the categories it was mentioned in. Did she take that? Did she come out to say, oh, I took colors? Because I took colors, I was able to write hello from the other side. We love to give excuses for what we do. I just use that as an example. There are other musicians who will tell you, I write my lyrics. I mean, I have heard recently, I think from this recent wedding of Davido and so on, so somebody passed a comment, mentioned the name of the artist, who said the artist does not drink and doesn't smoke. And I was stunned, like, really? Is there any Nigerian artist that doesn't drink and smoke? And people were putting it to me like, yes, this person, they were mentioning his name. And I was like, you see? And he's popular. And then they said yes. And he's making the waves. And they said yes. And he's writing music that is hitting. And they said yes. And I'm like, so why do you need colors? Why do you need all these things to write your own lyrics? If A is hitting it without colors, must you? We just love to give excuses. Some people will say if they don't take those things, they won't be able to get up the next day. And if they work after they are tired, that will help them to rest. Hey, just go to bed. Take a rest. Now, one thing we do as Nigerians, we overstretch ourselves. We overstretch our limits. We stretch our muscles out in its maximum capacity. And then you expect that by tomorrow, you get up and you stand straight. Okay, let's even leave that aside. You walk out from 6 a.m., you stretch yourself out, you're a bike rider, and then you walk till 10 p.m., and then you get home. You now expect that when you take one medication, your man will stand, pump, and then you'll be able to perform, pump, for like 1 hour or 2 hours, and then you go to bed, and then when you wake up by 6 a.m. again, everything standing straight, you want to rush out to work. You're not a machine. You continue that way, you will end your life short. So people use things, they use their bodies in its maximum capacity and still expect the body to perform optimally, constantly, continuously, year in, year out. It doesn't work that way. One of the reasons why refrigerators last long is because, one, you only open them when you need to take things from them. And then two, you don't open and leave it open constantly and then overload it with things. And if you don't do that, the refrigerator will last so long. And then you make sure that you don't put it in a place where there's constant heating, a reflection of heat on it, so the compressor will be preserved. I bought a small fridge. I have a freezer compartment in 2004. It is 20 years and it's still working, still chilling. If you leave water in the fridge section for 3-4 days, it's placed directly under the freezer, the water will block.
Interesting.
Enough said in that.
Yes. Well, you're listening to Solutions Clinic this morning on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9 FM. We're talking about drug and substance abuse to commemorate the just concluded World Drug Day, and I'm having a conversation with Dr. Chukwuma Okoli this morning. If you have a question regarding drug and substance abuse, you can send a text message to 0904 422 2939, 0904 422 2939, or 0912 222 2939. Now, Doc, one of the most worrisome aspects of this conversation is that we have young people indulging in drugs. From the statistics that I read to you, from 15 years and even below, we already see that they are practicing because they see these things in schools. And it becomes a trouble for a parent because they're now considering or thinking, how do I identify that my child, my ward, is indulging in drugs? So what are those telltale signs that you could see that points you to the direction of becoming very intentional about your child?
Thank you very much. Let me just share another story. Now, I heard about a 15-year-old boy who committed suicide,
Hmm.
and I asked, why?
Your account is low.
Oh, we do apologize for that. I'll be sure to get Doc back on the line to continue this conversation. Hello? Hello? All right. Well, you're listening to Solutions Clinic this morning. It's still the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9 FM. As I mentioned earlier, we're having a conversation on drug and substance abuse. And Dr. Chukuma Okoli has been lending credence to the conversation. Like I said, if you have a question regarding drug and substance abuse, we're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939. You can take advantage of the comment section and drop your questions. You've seen someone, you know someone dealing with drug and substance abuse. You've been trying to figure out how to help this person. You can ask these questions on the comment section. Also, you can send a message or call in with the number 0912 222 2939 or 0904 422 2939 as we continue with the conversation this morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning to you. All right. Do also call me back if you can, okay? Still 0912 222 2939. 0912 222 2939. All right. We have Doc back with us. It's great to have you join us live in the studio, Doc. Welcome. All right. So, let's find out who this
Good
is.
morning, sir.
Hello.
Do you hear me? Good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is Dixon. I'm calling from Google.
Okay. All right. Great to have you. What's your question?
No, I want to make something clear. Okay, we are discussing on the solution how to prevent this drug of a thing.
Yes, please.
Is it the both we are discussing or just to?
So,
Just
it's
to-
a general conversation. Basically, it was World Drug Day last week. So, we're raising more awareness on drug and substance abuse. So, if you have a solution or a contribution, you can also bring that up to our attention. We're listening.
Wait, I will call back.
Okay. All right. Well, Doc, it's great to have you with us in the studio. We were talking about something before we got interrupted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you asked a question.
Yes. Funnily, I was asking a question about identifying
Exactly. Yes.
a
So,
child who is probably indulging in drug and substance abuse.
yes, thank you. So I was trying to talk about
A story.
15-year-old boy who committed suicide, and then I asked how did this happen? What happened? Like, I needed to speak with the parents to know at what point, like, where were you guys? You know, a 15-year-old should still be living in your house unless he was in the hostel. And I realized he was living with the mom, okay, and he had other siblings, and he was quite responsible, and he was doing well. But in recent times, he was withdrawn. You see, yes, and these are the things that mistakes that parents make. You should constantly observe a child. When a child who literally is communicating now becomes withdrawn, and then you ask him and he tells you he's not feeling well, and you're like, have you used medication? Yes, and you're okay with that response. Shouldn't you find out what medication did you use? Who prescribed the medications for you? Can I see them? A parent who takes time to monitor the activities of the child wouldn't have issues. Yes, so these are one of the telltale signs. They become withdrawn to self. Okay, yes. Now a child who literally doesn't speak much now keeps talking and talking and talking, or the one that talks, and you keep saying, keep quiet, you talk too much and all that, suddenly becomes withdrawn Even if the child is sitting with you, you ask questions and like, I don't have anything to say, I'm fine. They are withdrawn to self. Yes, some of them are overtly happy, while some are sad. And then the female among them may cry. Now, you could even have a child who had all these symptoms and suddenly turns up the other way around. Yes, because you can have some people who will tell you when they use some certain medications, it makes them happy. It gives them energy. They go around. They
Right.
wake up as early as 4 a.m. and they will start cleaning the house. They will finish cleaning by 7. By 11, they start cleaning again. And then you keep wondering what's going on. So these are obvious signs that parents should observe, okay, from these children, okay. So this is it. Eventually, by the time you keep noticing a change in the behavior, yes, that will tell you a change in the behavior, a change in the pattern of life and lifestyle, attitude, then appetite changes. Some
Right.
of these medications take out the appetite and they don't eat.
They don't eat.
They will tell you they are fine. Even some will even come to the hospital and tell me they don't have appetite. And as a doctor, I start worrying as to how I would fix your appetite, only for me to realize you are on drugs. And then you keep disturbing me to look for medications to make you eat. And eventually, having asked serial questions, and then you eventually open up to me that you usually take this once in a while. And I'll tell you that once in a while is taking out your appetite. So these are the telltale signs that we could get in young people out there. Now, what are the reasons why they indulge in these actions? Because it gives them energy. It makes them active. Some would even claim it helps them to perform sexually. It will shock you that
Right.
this conversation affects even people for the young adults. I mean, even from 15, you could get some people 15 and below who will tell you that it helps them. And then you ask yourself,
What is a 15-year-old?
How old were you when you first of all thought about such things? Some of us had even left secondary school before we knew things like the female gender and gender organs and genital organs and all that. But it's not so. I was on Twitter, and I saw a video about secondary school students making out in a bus, a long bus.
Yes.
And they were taking themselves in twos. And I just asked myself, but somebody recorded this. And I'm sure that the school involved must have seen it. Now, what actions were they, what sanctions were they given? Were these people punished? The moment we start turning a blind eye to societal things, I mean to the ills of the society, we should be ready to reap bodies in bags in return. There's no gainsaying. The moment you turn a blind eye to things that you should take care of, you will reap the bodies in bags. Let's beware.
Very succinctly said. Thank you very much for that. The focus for the World Drug Day for this year is basically on stigmatization. Now, there's no way we'll have this conversation without talking about stigma because it comes with drug and substance abuse. Unfortunately, nobody who has or knows someone who indulges would want to associate with the person because, of course, you'll be labeled as such. So that's where stigmatization starts from. But my concern now is how do we balance this? For instance, if I have a child who is young and I have a neighbor who indulges in drugs and I see my child around the person, I'll always tell my child, never go close to this person. So as a person, how do you balance, without stigmatizing the drug abuser in a way of protecting yourself and your word?
Should I surprise you? It's unfortunate that even the stigma in this regard is not even felt globally, because majority of the musicians abuse drugs. It's not an accusation,
Right.
It's just
No,
a
it's
statement.
very obvious.
It's a statement. So, at the end of the day, even the people who do will prove to you that they know this. Some of them have those people as mentors and people they look up to. When somebody's singing a song and he's saying I day on Colos, and then some media houses will play such a song because I heard these songs from radio. If I didn't hear it from radio, and I was thinking, but this probably they did not listen to that particular part.
Actually,
before
because you can be sanctioned for that.
playing. And then I heard them, and I'm like, what? No, you now wake up and say, don't take the drug. Someone look at you and say, okay, I shouldn't take it, Abi. And then, is it not what these people are taking? And then they're writing hit songs. You see, the foundation is already affected. It is already affected. Now, I think what the World Health Organization should look at is taking the awareness straight to the secondary schools. In Africa, it's called secondary school. I think in the Western world, it's called high school. Yes. They should take the awareness to high school. But first, in this place, I know that the government does not in any way support drug abuse. I am so sure.
NDLEA is doing quite an impressive
Yes, I am.
work.
I'm 100% sure of that. That if you even if I should go to NDLEA now and say, hey, bro, I want to do an awareness campaign. In fact, they will support me 100%. It's just like going to road safety and telling them you want to do a campaign about safe roads and safe. You see them everywhere. They are doing stuff. Fantastic job that they are doing. Now in the Western world, how well are the of government authorities? What are they doing in order to help with this? Rather, they would manage what has happened. They get somebody who's an addict or a junkie, like they call, and they start rehabilitating them. What are the steps that we are taking as a globe to reduce the drug abuse menace? And that is where I think the World Health Organization should focus on. Because the stigma thing is not even common. Let's be sincere. It's not common.
I think people are not even ashamed
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
the point.
I totally get what you're
That's
saying.
the point.
People are very proud to say, I take these
Yeah,
things.
they will tell you. So what stigma are you talking about? They will look at you and say, guy, please, stand. If you talk about the health implication, they would listen. Especially when you start mentioning kidney and liver, they will look at you and say, are you sure? Okay, oh. You see, you've gotten their attention. But we talk about stigma, they will look at you, hiss and walk away. Tell you, oh, I want to go work. I want to make money. So I think we should start looking at reducing the menace. And then, of course, when you're doing this, you must go with health professionals who will explain the medical implication, the dangers.
Let's dive into that right away because of time.
Okay.
You know, the implications of because I think that's what really scares people in a way and have them pay attention when you talk about drug and substance abuse. So what are the diverse health effects that could come with that?
Of course, with drug and substance abuse, you know the people involved could become violent. And when they become violent, it could lead to death. I witnessed 2 friends fight over 2,000 naira. And then one wounded the other. And the one that was wounded died of tetanus from the wound. And both of them were on that particular substance I mentioned earlier in the show. I don't want to talk about it again. And then I asked myself, what caused the fight? 2K. 2K caused the fight. And now the friend is gone. The day that boy gave up, I saw how the other one was rolling on the floor, wailing like a kid. I witnessed it happen right in front of me. Apart from that, depression can come in. Like I mentioned about the other guy that used that same particular medication and we couldn't come out of it. He could over-sedate. And in fact, I can go on and mention names of known people that died from drug abuse. Even, I still used to say it, my best female artist,
Whitney.
come on. It's crazy. It's painful. At the end of the day, so that's the point. So the stigma is not even the issue. It is what these things can produce. It's killing people. They could become violent, they could become severely depressed, and then suicide could step in. And then it could even affect their physical organs. Many had come down with kidney problem. I mean, imagine somebody is doing dialysis, and then maybe when he thought he was going to die, he now opened up to the family members what happened to him. He's been indulging in drug abuse. Funnily, he survived, and he had to now live with the fact that he had exposed what he was doing.
Of course.
And then when I heard about it, I had to speak to him on phone. I told him, the fact that you're alive is a reason to restart. So, yeah, they can call you names, they can label you whatever they want to label you, but you're alive. I think at this point, you're going to live this life for yourself. You've lived for others. Now live this life for yourself. and what you make out of it now is your making.
That's what matters.
Yes. So you see, the medical implication is there. It will cause organ failure and lead to death. Now, for those that are not onto that severe level, it would alter with their reasoning. Some of them can't function well at work, especially if you're doing a white collar job and then you're indulging in these things. You don't know the day that you. Oh, how about, ordinarily emotional stress makes us sometimes lose our cognitive character.
React
Yes,
irrationally.
Yes, I heard of somebody who wore the inner side of the trouser out. And then he was walking from the hostel to the gate, only for a colleague to corner him by and say, "Hey,
What's going on?"
No, just get inside the car, get in." And then made a U-turn like, "Did you check yourself before you left? Can't you see you're wearing the inner side of the trouser? So where did you put your key? How did you slit in your hand inside and drop the key in?"
Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous.
So you see, it can interfere with cognitive values. And then the truth is that such a person will not even know he or she is not performing properly at work. And then eventually, if it's a company that doesn't tolerate any of those things, they will just retrench the person. And then you will say it is the village people, right?
That happened to you.
Village people.
We're pressed for time, so let's take some questions and we wrap up with, how can you help someone dealing with drug abuse? After identifying, what do you do for them? Because I know that we don't have rehab centers as we do abroad in Nigeria, but that is, if that's a thing here. But there's a question that I find really interesting from Society. It says, "Good morning, presenter and doctor. My brother used inhalants to calm his anxiety. He usually would inhale the smell of spray, fuel, or anything that is hard. I really don't know how to help him, but for him, that is how he calms his nerves, especially if he has a work presentation. I don't know how we can help him." That's a coping mechanism of some sort, but that is crazy. So if you don't have anything, I'm just assuming you have a presentation, now you have to look for a perfume to inhale. That's wild. I think it brings us to the last question. How can you help individuals like that?
Multidisciplinary. He needs a psychologist. And he may need a psychiatrist. He's not mad. He's not insane. He's a normal human being. I believe you're listening to me. He's not mad. He's not sick. He's not mental. He's not insane. He's a normal human being. He only just has anxiety disorder. So first, we need to let him know, hey, this is what you have. Don't we watch movies? Somebody goes to the stage, all this music films, and wants to perform. And then the coach now comes and says, hey, look at me. Breathe in, out. In, out. You're good? All right, let's do it. And then, I used to watch AGT. I love watching AGT. And then even AGT encourages. I have seen people get golden buzzer because the relatives and the friends were asking for it. And Simon Cowell gave it. That's because they know how to cheer people.
Right.
But that's the other way around. In Africa, you have a presentation. Let's have it. What do you have for us? Oh, yeah,
Only their face was scare the living daylight out of you.
Yes. go and stand there. You've already destroyed the morale of this
Dampen
person.
the
And then he
person.
stands, and then he feels like, well, before you say anything, let me quickly hype myself. Okay. And then he takes those things and then he comes. Yes, good morning, sirs. And then he starts dispelling. Hey, we don't need that. That's why a lot of things are wrong in this environment. We don't know how to cheer people. I mean, companies, clubs, they have cheerleaders. These are to help the morale of these athletes. We should learn to cheer ourselves. Life no be fight, war every day. We should learn to celebrate. Even in the place of work, what did he say? Let's learn to encourage ourselves. I do that for my staff. From time to time, I let them know I trust you, I believe in your judgment, and I know you can do it, and that's why I put you there. Let's learn. These little words can help. So diagnose the person, anxiety disorder, and then let the docs take over.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to continue this conversation, but I believe that we've covered quite a lot this morning regarding drug and substance abuse. Ultimately, drug can kill you. Substances can kill you, and you want to live long to enjoy the life. Imagine making money, and at the end of the day, you're now fighting illnesses,
Kidney failure.
God forbid.
God forbid.
God forbid. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley, for being here with us. All right, we'll be back next week, Monday, for yet another interesting subject in the world of health. But I hope you have a wonderful start of the second half of 2024. Aristar and Ashake with the song Goodbye.
Goodbye, goodbye to my ex. Yes. Hello, hello to my next. Yeah. I do not accept your apology. Just let me be, just let me free. Give me a little space, step back, let me breathe. Give you the cold shoulder, I really hope you free. Until you burn, almost had me in Burberry. Turn you to a brother and trying to get married. Wanna trap me cause the money unheard. Bring you to a god that I'm not soon buried. This shit piss me off, you're too suspicious. Too ridiculous, love ambiguous. Now we broken up, and I can't fix you up. We're past giving up.